paid by far. In fact, if you want to put us anywhere, we would be near the bottom in terms of what we get paid to do compared to other people in the Commonwealth that get paid to do the same thing. So I'm not sure what people are comparing us to, but I have to tell you, I, for one, I'm going to fight for my staff. And I wanted you to consider that. I understand that it's a difficult budget year. I gave some ideas of how to either raise revenue or lower costs by doing some cuts, but I find it very hard to stand here and not advocate for the staff, because regardless of how much they're getting paid, they're doing a good job. Now, we're trying to work hard at finding ways to measure that and bring it back to you so you can feel comfortable with the amount of money we spend on our staff. But I'm having a hard time just saying no, because everybody else is angry and upset that the economy is not going the way they wanted it to go. And if I may say so, it was not public employees that drove the economy to the state we're in. So I would just go on record to say I don't have the same animosity towards public employees. I do know that it's a hard time that we're dealing with in terms of the economy, and I want to be judicious as to what we offer. And honestly, I don't think that even a small increase is that much that people should feel like we're draining the coffers of the town or the state or the nation. So that being said, if you want to make any changes to this budget, I would appreciate it, because if you're already one school committee meeting off the timeline to send something to the FinCom to react to and approve, I need to know what to tell them when they call me after this meeting and say, when are you going to send us the budget so we can set up a time for you to come and present the budget to the FinCom? And right now, we're sending them a budget that's 150 over last year's budget, or at least that's where we thought we ended last time. And I honestly, I'll need some direction as to where do we go with the 150. Because I know the town's going to say they don't have it, but if you tell me go fight for it, I will. But without any funding for staffing, I'll have to get a little creative on that part. I'll have to fight for my staff.
Through the chair. Dr. Cully, I appreciate you fighting for your teachers and administration. They do deserve that. One thing hit me a little bit strange when you were talking. You said if we don't approve it, you're going to, I wish I could remember exactly how you stated it.
That I would have to find a way to do it, because...
And that, I'm taking that as a, I don't want to say the word, of you're going to make cuts that almost like holding us over a barrel, saying, if you don't give us the money, you're going to do this. I'm just wondering what your thoughts are.
Because we're talking about negotiated issues, I'd rather talk about that in executive session. There are some realities that we're going to have to look at. I know, like, if you go to arbitration, you may get, indicated that you're going to have to come up with this money. You have to come up with the money. I mean, it's that kind of a situation where we're going to be negotiating. If you're negotiating in good faith and you come to an agreement, you're going to have to fund it. So at that point in time, I'm going to have to find a way to do it, no matter what. Whether you've already put it into the budget or not. If it's not been put into the budget, then when we reach an agreement, we're going to have to go and find it. That's me. So, yeah, I will have to be thinking about, if not from here, because we didn't build it in, where from.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes, I did hear the comment making reference to an animosity towards public employees. And if you could just explain, were you speaking to us as a school committee or a general public?
General, the community.
Okay. And I thought so. I just wanted to make sure that we are together as a team and do recognize the difficulty in making that motion regarding our budget. I think the motion came about the result of a presentation that met the first step of the budget process, and that was the requested level-funded budget. There was many additional pages to your packet, your budget presentation, and it included many notes of proposed budget, areas of need, some ideas for revenue generation, and cost containment and cuts. And we made a motion that included some of those. I don't think it was the end-all, and so I agree in the concept of perhaps readdressing it this evening. And I am quite concerned that our taking the level-funded budget and having forwarded that on as part of our process as the FinCom liaison from the school committee.
We haven't forwarded anything.
I recognize that, but I have been attending some FinCom meetings, and there's been reference to agreements made of level-funded budgets, and how dare the school committee come up with anything but that. And those were public comments in open session. So there is a disconnect on this process. So I, too, am concerned with going forward with anything, or with only the budget that we approved last meeting. I believe it has merit. I'm in favor of our role and assisting the superintendent in meeting a budget that meets all levels and creates the type schools that we seek to. So I'm in favor of leaving last meeting our approval of a budget in order, but I would also be in favor of creating a second level services budget, because this is a process, and apparently the FinCom members are looking forward to meet with you. And I know the first question, because they said that they would address it with you, not with me as a liaison. So I was in the audience as a school committee member because I'm asked to be there.
So it struck me, what was their first question? Because I will need to know what to prepare for.
Why didn't you come forward with a level-funded budget? Because they're under the impression that that was an agreement.
I know that we talked that was the starting point. That
To a process.
Right, that we would start with a level-funded budget, and we would put in, if we bring the same budget from last year into this year, what kind of things would we not be able to do because we have done this, rather than the way we did it the previous year, which is we brought a level, rather than a level-funded budget, a budget that had all the requests we wanted in there, and if it didn't pass muster through Prop 2.5, what kind of things would you cut? So, as far as I know, that was the discussion we had with the budget subcommittee of the town that had FinCom, school committee, and selectmen in it. But, that's a starting point. Now, whether we end up there and what does a level funded budget look like at the whole town level, that's a whole different story. Does it mean every department comes in at the same level that they were last year? Does it mean everything in the town stays the same? Because I don't think that's going to be possible no matter what we do. But as a town, yeah, we should discuss it, but I thank you for letting me know what they're expecting.
Well, in my comprehension of, if I could continue, Mr. Chairman, of our motion was a dollar amount that had some restrictions. But beyond that, the format of that budget, as